Okay, hello, this is Dr. Lueth. I'm live. It is 2:53 p.m. Eastern Time, New York, USA. It is November 21st, 2025. It is a Winnipeg Jets game day. They're playing the Carolina Hurricanes, and so there's been a lot of talk today. It is an interesting news day. So I guess with Nikolai Ehlers will be back um, this time, though not as a Jet, but he'll probably get some recognition. Um, so we'll see how that all turns out. But I was looking at some of the things, and apparently Pionk sent him a text and asked him if he wanted to get into a fight. So who knows what might happen. And apparently Ehlers is cheap, according to Captain Lowry. He said he was kidding though. Uh, Hockey is fun that way. So there's a lot of a lot of people look at numbers and all this, and I mean I do, but I'm not so much a numbers kind of gal when it comes to today's modern day NHL, which is different than 30 years ago or 20 years ago, for that matter. And so there's some of the people who've been fans for as long as I have or longer, and I don't know, 40 years. No, probably a little more than 45 years. Um, National Hockey League fan, kind of may want to keep sticking to the same old, but it just isn't like that anymore. Okay, there's no president's curse. Okay, and uh, there just isn't. All right. The Jets aren't cursed. That can't happen. Okay, it's just that's not what's happening. Um, the numbers runners can really actually it can be proven with numbers pretty easily. Uh, we have a situation apparently. Our starting goalie Connor Hellebuck, affectionately known as Helly, is out for 4 to 6 weeks. He's getting a knee issue taken care of. So Eric Comrie is going to be the number one starting goalie for us. And they pulled up Thomas Millic up from the Moose. So, uh, you know, I can see the positives here. Okay, one, Hellbuck's getting something taken care of that needs to be taken care of, and we certainly don't want it getting any worse. That is, definitely a positive. Minor surgery is much better than a serious knee issue with a goalie. So, you know, better now. He does plan on being available for Team USA in the Olympics. So it can't be that bad, but it is something that, I mean, I'm actually seeing the positive of getting it taken care of. We don't really want it to become worse as an injury. So he'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. Combs is going to get the full NHL pressure. But this also the positive here is um, the guys, you know, need to tighten up a little bit, certain areas. It's a reminder to them, defensive responsibility. So, everybody's going to have to elevate together. And I say it all the time, win as a team, lose as a team. Right? So, I'm sure that the guys know now they know to, provide a certain kind of support for Comrie. Um, and people will also get a chance to look at Thomas Millic, who is up from the Manitoba Moose, who have been doing really well. That's the AHL franchise affiliated with the Jets. So what it was a bit of a surprise when I saw the headline Helly out for 4 to 6 weeks, and considering that I had seen a headline that said the least Austin Matthew was out for the season. I know I'm not the only one who saw that. I know, like I did. I made sure to double check that sucker. I'm like, what? And I checked out the Winnipeg Jets uh, homepage, and of course, I was on check-in, and I was on the chat for about a half hour with Illegal Curve, who they were doing a special edition today, so I get a chance to be on there for a half hour. And right now, Winnipeg Sports Talk is going, so I was on there for the first half hour. So I'm not concerned. Like, there's no panic. Like, when it comes to me, like, I'm a goalie oriented person, and I know a lot about goaltending just in general, but I know a lot about National Hockey League goaltending, and how goaltenders are, and they're not all the same, by the way. Um, and given all circumstances, I mean, I'm not really worried. I'm not really worried because, like, the skaters do know for sure that they're playing in front of Eric Comrie, not Connor Hellebuck. So there's probably going to be some things they're going to do that might be a little different from what they would do if Helly's in the net. And this is the same with Millic. Uh, I like Comrie's confidence has been there, so uh, I think we'll be fine. Definitely not panic. I prefer that he gets whatever it is, a minor issue taken care of, so minor issue does not become a major issue, and he'll definitely be able to go for the playoffs. It gets Tom's full NHL pressure, which is on the job training, and you never know. Come playoffs, we do want two goalies who are fairly well rested and do not have any lingering injuries, even small ones, for the playoffs. So I mean, it's good that it's happening now. Um, I think I already mentioned Lowry is locked in another 5 years. He wants to stay. He's going to stay. Uh, Lambo Lambert has asked for a trade, and so he is permitted to do that. I don't know really, but I mean, I kind of get the feeling at this juncture he will have some difficulty finding another team that has cap space and is willing to make a trade for his position. Okay, but it happens sometimes. They'll be able to play in the NHL as opposed to playing in the AHL. It's kind of how it is. Um, yeah, Stanley, Stan the Man, Stanimal asked last year. I think it was last year. Yeah, last season. And he's now got a definite role on the team. And I mean, he did really well with Pionk, but I understand what Sammy came back. So hopefully Shen can elevate with Stanley, and they become pretty well gelled uh, defensive pair. But I mean, good for Lambo if he gets on an NHL team and gets to play. I can see difficulty with that though. What else? Oh yeah, I know Ehlers. To me, I'm like, yeah, number 27. Who's that? You're so used to a guy on your team. It's weird, and right. I mean, I understand. There'll be people, some Jets fans who be, you know, happy to see him again. But for me, I'm just like, what? And I don't care. He's just some guy on the team we're gonna beat. Yeah, he's just some guy. Bianca is gonna attack at some point. The good thing about Bianca, I will say, kind of made up for some boo boos in earlier games because he scored a goal, which is good kind of goal scoring. Okay, because other teams are going to be looking at certain. Yep, they're going to be paying a lot of attention to certain other guys and may not be paying a lot of attention to certain guys. So that's good news. And I'm seeing the good news in this, and it's not definitely not time to panic. Um, we definitely want Hellbuck as healthy as possible. Um, what else? For trades, I don't know. People talk about this on and off in chats and on the on the radio and on the online uh, discussions having to do with the Jets. And I'm just gonna say they do have some cap space. That's something I mean, it just seems like it would be wise to hang on to that. And let's all vibe that these guys are going to be like indestructible and don't get injured at all. Our team shall never be injured. You know what I'm saying? But if anything, it would be more likely we look for a forward rather than a defenseman. But that's I don't think that's something we need to do like today. I'm sure they're always looking, but it's. I mean, I think we're gonna be fine. So I'm. I'll be sending positive vibes to you. I go, all the positive vibes, all my positive guys. I send them over to, or up and over to Winnipeg. Um, Thankfully, it is not an Eastern. Uh, right, I live in the Eastern time zone, 10 o'clock game. So I'm sure I will remain awake the entire thing. Uh, I did find a way to watch some, and I probably will be able to watch more. But I do listen to them on the radio, so I get to hear the radio interviews, and I get to hear certain things that the people on TV don't get to hear, and it's it's interesting what you learn because I'm definitely like I'm an active listener and learner in anything that has to do with hockey, and like I'm all over it, which is I have to be careful because yeah, like I don't want to be up for like 2 days straight, like going through everything. I know I gotta like yeah, I need to like I have to know when to kind of pull myself back out of it. I'll get in the hockey zone, like quite literally, just interview after interview after article after article after, right, and game after game because I can see the games on TNT and there's some on ABC. And I am working toward trying to get ESPN Plus because I live out of market from the Jets, and I'm not really sure where blackouts would hit me where I am because the team over there in Washington D.C. in the Devil's Trap is definitely far enough away from me. I wouldn't get blacked out if they played them, but it might get blacked out if they play the Flyers. So I guess I'll find out. All these considerations, just trying to follow a hockey club, but I do appreciate the bloggers and illegal curving. Oh, by the way, yeah, the curve is just a curve unless someone checks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like Well, if they don't check, then it's just a curve. Is what that is. Um, uh, I do kind of want to just put out there that I am a little just concerned about certain things. Like, start hearing more and more that, you know, like there are really good younger players who whose parents are poor and not well to do, who are definitely kind of, it takes like a huge amount of struggle and work and coordination just to even get them noticed. I, it's a little concerning to me. Once again, discriminating against the poor. I mean, there are a lot of you doing it, and you need to, yeah. I mean, I always feel for the goalie parents because the goaltending equipment is ridiculous, especially when they go through growth spurts. But even that, I mean, just trying to pay the, you know, it is a little bit of a concern to me that there are players all over the place who just aren't getting those same kind of opportunities that they would have previously. So, don't know. Um, but I wish them all the best too. Um, you know, what else? That's pretty much it. I don't need to say too much, but I do try to get involved with some of the chat and getting more familiar with Lockton is one of the like blogs or YouTube show, whatever anybody wants to call it, video blog, YouTube show. Illegal Curve, that's Jets related. Oh boy. Yeah, like Jets at noon. There's Ray Chicken, which is Jets. And then there's Kenny and Rennie, and right, some of them, and Winnipeg Sports Talk, of course. But I feel for Winnipeg on this one. I didn't know until I got on Winnipeg Sports Talk that their soccer club, yeah, the Valor, has shut the doors. So yeah, like, just, yeah, that's kind of rough. Yeah, like, oh no. It sucks when that happens. So, but I learn more and more about Manitoba and Winnipeg every day. It's just, that's kind of sad that happened. Um, it's difficult sometimes. So it's the same lines as, I mean, the same starting lines, okay, except the Comrie starting, Millic is backing up. They're gonna play. It's I certainly do not see any reason to panic or worry about it because um yes, the healthy guys, they've had time in there, able, Perfetti, Sammy, right, they've had extra time, and you know the core guys know how to read each other. The younger ones have, some guys who know what they're doing around to learn from. So I think it's gonna be fine. I'm not worried about that. I mean, yeah, it's just like I saw it and I'm like, is that a fake headline? I was hoping it was a fake headline, but it wasn't a fake headline. I'm like, oh. So apparently he's having surgery tomorrow. I think that's, yes. Uh, yeah, we weren't really sure, but I'm pretty sure coach said Saturday, or someone said Saturday to the club. But that's that. And I I can say this is that every team has, it's possible for any team in the NHL to beat any other team. This is just the way it is now. Okay. The other thing is people don't like the 3 point system. What I'm going to say is that, well, nobody's going to go back to the way it was before the 3 point system. And nobody in the NHL is going to tolerate, what do you call it, ties. Kissing your sister is just not. That doesn't sit well with the NHL people. So, how, and also the games have to end doing a full 20 minutes, 4-on-4, like they used to do, sudden death. Right. I mean, regular season games, they kind of do need to be, they can't go on for as long as they were previously. So, I mean, what I'm saying is for the people who don't like the 3 point system, if you play even, you both get a point, and then there's the 3-on-3 overtime, and then there's the shootout. Now, I gotta admit, as much as I love a good goalie show, I'm not the biggest fan. I mean, it doesn't necessarily show. I don't know. There's some things about the shootout that aren't as desirable when you're trying to close down a game. But okay, well, what is the alternative? Is what I'm asking. What's the alternative to that? I mean, they do have TV. People need to get home from some of these games at a decent hour. So do both clubs need to be where you can't have games that nobody's going to tolerate ties. So yeah, I mean, should it be 20 minutes 3-on-3 sudden death? But then what happens if that? I mean, I don't really know. What is the alternative to that? Is what I'm saying, because you got to work around a lot of stuff. So as much as it's like I've just gotten used to it, and I mean, it just comes down to, yeah, a team could be, make the playoffs if they got that point, but they didn't get the second point, right? But it means they played even. So instead of giving a tie, okay, because no one in the NHL is going to tolerate a tie, okay? So it's basically removing yes, there's no more ties in the NHL. Nobody's going to go back to ties. Nobody is. That's just unrealistic. Let it go. Not going to happen. You're wasting your time and energy. Forget about it. Okay, so yes, you didn't really lose. You tied. Okay, so each team gets a point because they played even. Okay, they do that to eliminate ties in the National Hockey League. So I don't think it's that bad. The only thing I'm saying is, maybe a full 20 minute 3-on-3 sudden death. But I mean, yeah, I mean, that would probably, end most of the games, but there'd still probably be a few where you'd have to go to a shootout. So it's the best way to close out a game and not have them playing for like 5 hours, 6 hours, and it definitely eliminates ties, which nobody in the National Hockey League is gonna is tolerable of game ties. So people who really don't like the 3 point system, what's a better alternative that doesn't include ties and gets everybody out of a building in a reasonable amount of time, because we have weekday games. And yes, okay, if somebody's got a better idea, well, by all means, go try and convince the National Hockey League. But quite frankly, there isn't much else you can do. Nobody's going to tolerate ties. That's not an option. So, I mean, I think all things considered, it's just the best way to continue. So I don't spend a lot of time listening to people don't like 3-point games when it's like, well, that's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the alternative? Come up with a better alternative. And there isn't one at all. Uh, so I'm not worried at all. There are certain situations where I might be a little, but not when it comes to Helly being out, because we don't want any kind of injury getting worse. We do not want the chance that something could happen. So whatever needs to be done, and comms, is gonna have some help from the team because they know they're not playing in front of Helly. Like, this franchise understands that, and same with Millic. So um, that's what I'm going to say. So go Jets. Number 27. I hope Pion, you know what I'm saying? Drops you with the first punch. I know. Yeah. So of course I will try to mention the other, as I put links here and other kind of things, and I'm I'm always hockey friendly. Okay, just know that. Uh, I am working on trying to figure out how to squeeze. I think it's like $13 or something for me to stream ESPN Plus, because that way I can see most of the home games, because I can't stream TSN in Maryland here where I am. So, and if anybody's got any brilliant ideas or can help me in some way, go live in Manitoba and Winnipeg, right? I'm like, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But, you know, anyway, yeah, I mean, I do need to be near a hospital or around that has certain specialties, because I have medical conditions, plural. Um, so that's just another reason sometimes I'm not doing as well as other times. So I try and go online just to make mention of it. It's kind of like tracking my medical symptoms too, which I'm about ready to do um, another one of these to do that separate from the ice hockey, um, basically. So you know, I'm learning about some fans who are more active on the chats, and I'm kind of getting used to the team the way it is now, and I'll be more chatty about it than I have been uh, recently. But I've you know been a fan for a while. Um, so yeah, go Jets, go! No, and I'm not talking about American football. Go away. I don't want to hear it. I don't care.